All right, welcome. How is everyone doing? It's really dense energies these past few days coming out of Christmas and into the new year. There's still like a coldness, but I wanted to come in. Yesterday we talked a lot about the moon energy, what the druidic spirit guides that I have called the cold moon. And today we're talking about something called the great heart chakra thaw, because that's what it looks like. Yeah, I got this image of like the moon being so cold. And then the very next day, when the sun was rising, it was unthawing all the ice on the trees, all the ice on the roads, right? And then we had a nice purifying rain and water kind of flowing everywhere. And the Council of Nine said, this is the great heart chakra thaw. You are unfrozen. So these are some of the messages that I just wanted to come in and share with you today. And I did pull some cards this time from traditional Rider-Waite Tarot to show to you for the symbols. All right. The first cosmic energy update that we get in so far as looking at the past and how it lends towards the present moment. There have been a lot of paradox energies, right? I was just explaining this to one of my ice skating coaches yesterday. I said, I'm really, really afraid. I remember telling her, I'm so afraid. I've never had this kind of fear in my whole life. And I just want to quit. Every single day I want to quit, but I love it too much. And I said, and the paradox is it's such a contradiction because I teach fear, and I've helped people for 25 years in this industry moving through fear, mental fear, emotional fear, spiritual fear, entity removal, psychic energy, hygiene, all this sort of stuff, right? But when it comes to physical fear and it coming up in my body and making me stop and not do my physical work, it's like, wow, the paradox of that. So we have like so many contradictions, so much paradox, so much irony. And that is the way of being an awakening human right now on a spiritual path. Those of you who find me, who find this work, the council wanted you to let this energy of paradox that's kind of been rubbing you the wrong way this week guide you. Instead of rubbing you the wrong way, let it guide you into knowing that you're on track for your soul's unique progression in your spiritual journey and awakening. When you feel paradox, when you feel rubbed the wrong way, yeah, that's really a good sign that you're on track. It doesn't mean you're off track. I think people were misinterpreting that maybe you feel off track. So if these odd occurrences are making you kind of stop and think and wonder, and you're like, I wonder why that is, keep wondering. Follow the intrigue. Follow the curiosity. Let the wonder take over as opposed to thinking that you are off track. It means you are on track, right? All right. So that's there. I love this card that came up in the present position, all right, in terms of today and the rest of this week and what it looks like. Today is a day where you need to take your dreams off the shelf, all the things that you put on hold. I don't know if you got a chance to see my channeling of St. Germain yesterday, where you talked about shelving our dreams and shelving our creative endeavors, shelving our spiritual abilities, shelving our service to the world. It's time to dust off that part of you that you've put on hold. Let the paradox lead you into a new line of work, a new creative endeavor, a new venture right now. These are times to be brainstorming. You may not actually start, but it's time to kind of sit at the drawing board and brainstorm and think about like how to reach the world. The Three of Wands represents kind of like a person who's looking out. I get this image of looking out of the bow of a ship, looking and going, wow, I'm going somewhere. This ship is moving and I have cargo on this ship, and I'm looking to cross this ocean and reach the people on the other side of this beautiful world, right? So looking out at your world going, wow, I may still have a good ways to go. I feel like I'm in the middle of the ocean, because that's the feeling of this card. I'm in the middle of the ocean. I'm not there yet, but I know that I have a service that I want to share with the world and the whole world. This is not a small task. So you need to be sitting at the drawing board, sitting there brainstorming and heart clearing, purifying all of the ways you have held yourself back. Right. So it's time to reach the world far and wide with your dreams, goals, and endeavors of the heart. This is a heart chakra year coming up. Remember, we talked about the cosmic energy theme for 2024 being restoration and healing. That is of the heart. This is a heart chakra year. All right. So remember, this collective heart chakra thaw is like runoff from little rivers. I used to live in outside of a beautiful national park, and I love this time of the year because, and granted, we have an early thaw. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the trees are already budding, and we're having an early thaw. So snow is starting to melt, even though it isn't spring yet, which I find really interesting. Um, And when I used to look at the mountain and I would see like the water starting to freeze around the spring and start to trickle down the mountain and formulate beautiful sounds, and all the animals started coming out of the woodwork. We're doing that earlier than normal as we head into the new year, most of us. And what that represents, it's like the council says that it's Mother Earth saying it's time to protect yourself, but also to come out of your shell, to unthaw, and to move forward earlier than you normally would, even when you feel you don't have the resources, even when you feel you're not ready, because we're unthawing and we're letting go of old ways that held us stagnant and afraid all throughout the course of 2023. So it's time to unthaw this heart and to flow like the new rivers that are unfreezing right now, earlier than normal. Now, speaking of moving forward when you don't have the resources, the Five of Pentacle cards came up. Okay. And what I heard from the council about that is that we will try to talk ourselves out of new creative endeavors of doing something new. Many people are still kind of stuck in lack mentality, and they'll say, well, I'll do it when it makes sense. I'll do it when there's less lack. I have lack of resources, whether that be time as a resource or money as a resource, familiar support as a resource, spousal support as a resource, your children don't support you, whatever it is that you consider lack. That's the block point. We always have a block point, and we will be coming out of that block. But right now, a lot of people are still collectively in a hard time with a lot of material issues, such as more debt than usual, less pay in your line of business, less savings to go off of. You do not need to let that stop you from unthawing that heart chakra and stepping into action to serve the world. And we can have some hard times. We still have some hard times ahead this year. But as we step into spring of next year, that will be a time when we tap into better resources. I'll talk about that in tomorrow's World Predictions channeling, how the spring lands a beautiful time, real early spring, for us to have a better time in cryptocurrencies, us to have, a lot more collective stability financially begins. It's like the root chakra begins to unthaw in earth, and people begin to feel more financially stable around this time. We'll talk about that tomorrow in my World Predictions channeling. Okay. Because I am seeing a lot of good news for next year. And I love seeing good news. Now, I don't know who's channeling what out there, if I'm the only one to see this, but I'm seeing really great times ahead next year for many countries, not just my own. These are world predictions, and a lot of people are coming out of these severe hard times that we've had financially with lack of resources. And next year will be a time to rebuild and to trust our soul to financially support us, to trust our body for more abundance in health and physical and emotional recovery. Because remember, next year's theme is restoration and healing, and all that has been lost, all that's been put on hold, especially in health and wealth, can be restored and rebuilt. So this was just a little message of faith, a gentle reminder to have hope and to be at the drawing board with your creative plans. Even if you feel you don't have time, you don't have money, you don't have support, stop saying, I don't have what I need to go forward. Create what you need, even from that place of feeling like there's nothing to go off of. It's a great heart chakra thaw that's happening. Okay. Okay. Who wants readings? Speaking of readings, if you feel that you didn't get a reading today or yesterday or whenever you're live with me and you want one, we have them still on seasonal discount for a limited amount of time. Yeah, and we even have little 10-minute readings where if you're on the other side of the world, you don't even have to show up, put in your picture and a multitude of questions, and I'll get to however many I can for you. And then I send you the recording for you to download and use. And that's been like really popular in this time. So if you don't get a chance to get a reading today, just try that. Now I'm just learning, and you guys I've never really been a card person, so I primarily do oracle cards because I can feel into them. I don't know much about the Rider-Waite Tarot, which has been really fun learning experience. I love when something can teach me. And learning something new has been incredible. And I decided to do that because people were asking. And of course, we can have these cards correspond to the mysteries as well, and to the kingdoms of God. And as a mystery school teacher, I felt I needed to know. So let's get started. Jeff, you asked first, or you're the first one I saw. So do you want tarot? Or do you want Earth Oracle, Earth Wisdom? Do you want the Heart Chakra Rumi deck? Do you want the dragons? Like, which deck do you want me to call in the council with your symbols today? This is my tarot one. You want the dragons? Cool. I like that deck. I like dragons. They are some of my favorite spirit guides. Okay. The dragons are saying you've been calling upon your spirit family and your soul family more strongly. That 2023 was a year where you struggled with self-worth and you didn't trust your gifts. But that in 2024, there's a gift that has been revealed to you that you're going to become more confident in your soul esteem to utilize in service of the world. So you need to move forward with the support of your soul family around you. There's like a deep grace of humility around you right now. A deep grace of humility. Okay. Florence, what deck do you want? Do you want the dragon deck, or this is more of a heart chakra soul contract deck when we, ask about soul contracts. And I find that this is a little bit more heart chakra oriented and nurturing. And this one, this Stephen D. Farmer deck is a little bit more karma dharma, looking at the karma and dharma. And then, of course, we have the original Rider-Waite Tarot. Florence, are you still here? Which one do you want? Or do you want me to do that for you? To pick one for you. Okay. We'll do Karma Dharma. Let's ask the council what they want to say about the karma and the dharma for right now, whatever's going on right now with Florence. And thank you guys for the super chats. Okay, so healing ancestral DNA is really, really strong. You're going to be working with the ancestral work. You've gotten a lot of symbols. The council is reminding you that you've received a lot of symbologies, a lot of signs, a lot of meaning for karma, healing karma, and helping people through a modality that involves ancestral karmic healing. So hopefully this makes sense to you. You've been kind of dimming your light in this regarding having some fear about moving forward with this. We get the summer solstice card upside down, and but you do have this in your submerged consciousness. And when you see the submerged iceberg card coming up reverse, that means you're lifting this through and becoming like you're awakening in this consciousness. So remember that it's okay that if it feels new to you, that doesn't mean you're not qualified. You have to trust. Aurelia, thanks for the super chat. Which one do you want? Which deck do you want? Oh, thanks. Do you want the dragons? Sorry, I know that I shuffle so loudly. Okay. What's coming up is 2024 will be a year for grounding out your energies. You awakened in a very top-down way. So now your expression can feel safer, can feel more grounded, can feel more supportive to you. The only thing that you do need to work on is trusting and sharing your wisdom. Like regardless of anyone's reaction or the repercussions or whatever it is, share. Trust the wisdom, share the wisdom is what the dragons are saying. Your expression will become more grounded in it this year. Jen, am I meant to dance again? Let's see. I get yes. Council gets yes. You had a lot of negative reflection about that this year and you wondered, and your body really wasn't aligning with it. You spent a lot of time alone healing this, but your body is starting to kind of, the council says, show signs. It's starting to move in places where there was only numbness. There's been trickles of feeling, trickles of motion without as much pain. There's been ideas coming to you about how to dance with less pain, and your soul is trying to talk to you to give you these signals, both physiologically and emotionally. And you've been getting visions and dreams about it too, which is a great sign. So this is lending towards yes. Haniel, a message about financial abundance. Okay. Last year was about learning to love yourself. There was a lot of financial pain last year and loving yourself through it. This year, as you go into 2024, the council says it's a time to take personal responsibility and accountability. It's time to nurture yourself and to create work that nurtures your soul, your mind, your body, your spirit, and that no one's going to be responsible financially for you but you. And that when you choose this and go on your own, you're going to have great success. All right. As long as you follow this, know this, right? Know this truth, and then you'll do well with it. Rachel, let's see here what's coming up. So everything that you thought was sacred, beliefs about family, even beliefs about religion and theories of religion, everything was so deeply explored. Like what you thought was sacred was turned on its head last year. And you had to think about sacred in a very different way. And then we show this Dharma card that you got out of that. You came out of that funk. And you lifted very, very strongly out of it. You got the Arise card. You are being guided into a realm of wonder where everything you thought was impossible, particularly about your background, your education, what you feel your qualifications would be and wouldn't be, like none of that can hold you back anymore. So this is the land of essence of miracle. It's a time for a miracle is what the guides are saying. Okay. Ashley, Messenger's Choice, reading for Ash. No, again, I don't do Rider Waite very well, but I feel the idea to do this for you. And I'm just going to feel this out. because with Rider-Waite, I'm only familiar with the major arcana. I'm just now starting to get familiar with the minor arcana. And of course, we get some cool cards. We get the Fool card reversed. It was like last year you felt like everything was a big cosmic joke, like the dangling carrot the guys are saying, like something in front of you, and then, well, no, you can't have that, and something in front of you, and then no, you can't have that. So it was hard not to go into disempowerment about this when you feel like everything's a great cosmic joke, but you did. You reversed that, and then you went into the 10 of Cups. Now, my intuitive feeling about the 10 of Cups, again, I'm going to have to look up what it means because I don't know what it means. You guys can try to help me out. But my intuitive feeling is like happy home, possibly like paying off a home, purchasing a new home, purchasing also moving into a happy space. I'm going to look it up as well and tell you what it says in the little book that comes with it and see if that aligns with what I felt. Yeah, contentment, repose of the entire heart. A perfection of the heart state. Yeah, person who is taking charge of their own interest. I felt like it also was like building spiritual community. Some of this was coming up as like becoming happier at home and in the spiritual community. Now here's the block card for the future. This is what we need to be aware of. It is looks like 8 of Swords, but it came up in the reverse position. So this can't actually be bad, can it? Tarot people, help me out here. Because like I said, I don't know the minor arcana. So we have the 8. Okay, it's still a little bit of difficulty. It says difficulty, disquiet, opposition, treachery. Now I view this because it comes across as this, not necessarily in your family, but my feeling from the council is, okay, you're building spiritual community and then someone betrays you in your spiritual community. And there's like this disquiet energy of them going and talking behind your back. And some of these things happen in spiritual communities. So be mindful of that and trust your instincts is what the council is saying. All right. Let's see who else we have here. Binta Dixon, a message about moving forward and breaking habits. Maybe we should do the Karma Dharma Oracle deck for that one. Okay. Okay. When an artist stops creating, that's hard times. So last year, it's like you stopped and halted your creations and there was lack of harmony in your mind and body because you put your creation efforts in the corner, right? We've been talking about that a lot the past 2 days in the cosmic energy updates. You're going to have to go out on your own a little bit right now to move forward because there are people around you who have habits as well. There are people around you that have habits of preventing or even kind of creating, not directly, but indirectly creating your reaction to stay in a habit, if that makes sense. This is what the council is saying. And some of this is really about their own DNA and their own ways of doing things. And then they try to project. So you have people projecting around you. So ask your ancestors to step in, do an ancestral ritual. Look at that, 111 people here when I said that. So there's your sign. It would be a really good idea to do an ancestral ritual to heal the karmic symbol of the enabler, because you are being enabled and you allow it, and you enable others and you allow it. So this is a codependence that needs to be broken from the ancestral point of view. All right, Michaela wants, let's see. Karma Dharma. Okay. That's so funny. She put karma drama. Karma kind of is, isn't it? When we look at the Akash and we pull up karmic stuff, It always makes sense, but sometimes we just have this feeling, the council says, of just wanting it to be over. And that's where you were last year, of just wanting the karma to be done. Now, the Dharma cards that are coming up for you look really, really strong. Really, really strong. And there's really only one karma thing that you need to look out for in the new year. And that's holding back your own emergence. When, like, the dragonfly is a symbol of emergence. And when we get this in the Druidic oracles, it means be playful, trust yourself. There's a new way that you want to go about your offerings, right? But people around you are attached to the way that your offerings were in the past. But you're growing all the time, expanding, and there is a plethora of dreamtime creation gifts in your soul that just want to come forward. It's as if you're bridging 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 worlds. It's as if you're creating a bridge of consciousness between various worlds so that people can help figure out their now. And this is a very shamanic endeavor. You know, you're in a very innocent state right now, a place of wonder, a place of trust of yourself. You're super excited about this part of your life. You've healed a lot of the shadows in yourself that would prevent it. You've gotten the rest that you need. So good for you. This will bring about a lot of awareness as you go into service for the world, to bring about a new divine feminine cosmic awareness. Okay. Hopefully what they're saying and all of that made sense to you. Okay. Let's see. Gina A. I think I'm going to do Rider-Waite. Again, you have to bear with me about that because I'm not as familiar with the minor arcana. So if I have to look something up, let that be. Okay. All right. All right. So we have the 2 of Swords in reverse position over the course of 2023. The council says it was all about being afraid about imposter syndrome. Do you know what imposter syndrome is? That feeling of I can't do that because I'm not good enough and I would feel like a fraud, even though it isn't true. It isn't true. You still feel like a duplicity or a disloyalty or something. Perhaps it's to an entire community of people who taught you that you were never good enough. But whatever it is, you need to come to a balance in your life this year. This is the Justice card. This is like the settling of a part of yourself. The council says this is a settling of a part of yourself that didn't feel something was fair. All right. And then, oh my goodness, I don't know what this one means. The 4 of Swords reversed. It's like something you're worried about, the council is saying. And it's like going into a deep introspection, being worried about the economy, being worried about the world. Too much precaution, too much fear in association with where the direction that money's going. And it's like you have a certain degree of success and hope that you have for yourself that's almost like your expectation of yourself is hard. So this is a reminder to be more gentle on yourself. This is what the council is saying. All right. All right. Nicole. Did we get yours already? I don't know. I think we want to do some soul contract. We're going to use the Alana Fairchild Rumi deck for this one. Okay. Okay, so last year we pulled the Blood Angel card as a means of, okay, too much personal sacrifice caused your body to shut down. All right, too much saying yes to others and not enough yes to yourself. You went out of oneness with the body. All right. But now you're having feelings of wanting to be healthy, and dreams and ideas and concepts are swirling around inside of your heart and your mind about how you want to move forward. But you have to trust it. You're still not trusting it. You're still saying, well, that's not practical. That's not reliable. What if it doesn't work? I have a kid. I have family. I have this. I have that. And everyone relies upon me. Okay, great. The whirling goddess moves. She doesn't sit still with a dream. She makes it happen. She begins to trust. I recognize your energy. It feels like I just read you earlier today that a reading of yours might have been due today. Okay, Doc Matthews, avatar change in my life. Finally got rid of the rattlesnake. Look forward to a change. I don't really know what you want to know with that, but we're going to use the Karma Dharma spread for you. Because that's what feels right. Okay. You didn't accept a calling for yourself this year. You pushed it aside. There's still a lot of lack of stillness in the mind, and that's what's preventing. Go off on your own for a bit. Trust your instincts and still the mind. That is the message from the council. Gloria, let's see, where did yours go? Let's use the Dragon Oracle deck for you. All right. 2023 was in divine order. It was in the cards for you to learn how to feel at home. This could be a card coming up. The Avalon card reverse shows that you didn't pay mind to it much, but that you were meant to feel more at home in your current living environment and at home in your own mind and body and the temple of the mind and body. And it's like you dimmed your fire. You put out your fire. It was a year where, where it was time for you to do those things, but you were too afraid. That's okay. That's okay. Focus as you go into the new year about feeling more at home in the temple of your mind and body. And then you'll know what to do with those gifts. You'll know what to do with them, and they'll become more apparent. Okay, Kelly Davenport, any insight in moving forward with heart healing? Kelly, were you here for the council's original message about heart chakra unthawing for the collective? Yeah. If you weren't, you might want to hear that because it might really apply. All right. Typically speaking, the Angel Rosbar card comes up as a sign that you have so many blessings, but that you're turning your back upon the blessings and you're too afraid to trust those blessings. It's like you've been given something and then have it pulled from you so many times that you don't trust what's real anymore. The Blood Angel card comes up as a means of understanding that those sacrifices may have been necessary at the time for your emotional safety, but you do need to love yourself. And the only block you have right now in heart healing is to understand that when you're in love with life and in love with yourself, then you can be in love with the world. But prior to then, love was what held you back. Love in terms of support from others was a block and a letdown. So don't rely upon that anymore. Begin to stand in self-love, and there would be no longer any sacrifices anymore. Okay. Let's do soul contracts with Amanda. She wants to know about soul contracts to do with family. Let's ask the council what they are, what they look like in the past, and what they will be looking like in 2024. Okay. In the past, it was about you giving blessings and people not receiving it. So you had to turn away a little bit, all right? Because people just weren't appreciative of everything that you had to offer. Now it's about just being in your own realm. The whirling goddess card in this case represents, okay, if you're the sun, those planets operate around you, not the other way around. You are in your own orbit. And if they want to follow around it, great. If they don't, please keep dancing. Please keep moving. Please keep growing. All right. And then the lack of self-love card comes up. So we need to work on that this year because your family pulled you into that. They didn't love themselves, and that's what they showed you. So now it's been difficult for you to go into a place of self-love, even though you've made the appropriate boundaries. Okay. Next question with Patty M. She says, are there any messages on what's trying to communicate with me or my son? Yesterday at 9 a.m., my son saw a white pale hand. Then at 1:45 a.m., we heard a little girl scream outside in the hallway. No one was there. So your son in particular is being initiated into mediumship. And there definitely is an energy around that the council is identifying that you need to pull in some sacred ritual work for divine protection. And is when I say these things, I don't mean because they're going to harm you, but whenever a child is afraid, it doesn't matter if the deceased beings around are trying to harm or not. It's that your son is afraid. There's a fear. And when there's a fear, we need protection, right? So the white pale hand is definitely a galactic force. We call those the tall whites. And they typically don't have good or bad intent. They're very neutral in intent. But people can perceive it in the way that it would be bad intent. And typically they come to activate some dormant DNA. So a person awakens spiritually and steps in their own power, but they can be out of harmony with a person's will. And that's not okay. And that is not always the case with every tall white interference or communication or contact, but in this case, it is an interference with your free will. So we do need some ceremonies and rituals of protection. The Galactic Council's suggestion to you would be to work with black tourmaline and use the pentacle of salt and put the golden light all around you and him. All right? What's in store for Doc Roy in 2024? Let's do a Karma Dharma thing. Looks like some time alone. It looks like in terms of how Spirit bridges science for you, that you've changed a lot of your belief systems. So you're going to have to ground that out and reach the world a new way. We have like ground out, changing the way that you're looking at things, particularly in realms of being a bridge of consciousness for spirit science. This means you stand alone and unsupported in some of your work, but that's okay. You have a vision that's different. And that vision takes time for others to acclimate to. Give yourself some rest. Your mind is tired. Be cautious of lack of self-acceptance. It's okay if other people don't accept what you have to say, but what happens when you don't? Give yourself some rest because your visions require some time of settling, maybe not into you, but into the world. That seed requires time to blossom. All right. You're not here to change others or to get them to view your way. You're here to just plant a seed. And then maybe one day in the future, you may not even be here. When the world starts to shift, you in spirit can look back and say, okay, that was a seed that I planted and I'm proud of it, right? All right, Angela, we're going to be using the Dragon deck for you. Let's see what comes up. Okay. Last year was a year of trusting your own expression, your own personal expression, learning what you're about, the know thyself principle and the mysteries. This year, it's like right now you're still looking in the mirror, but you're reversing all the ways that you used to look about yourself. So when you look at yourself and you saw negative, you've been trying to reverse it and see the opposite. That's really good, right? You're stepping more into the divine feminine, guided by Divine Mother, guided by the cosmic Divine Mother in your movements this year, which is very, very helpful. But there's still a lot of, the council says a lot of womb healing, a lot of sacral chakra effect that has created. So that is more womb healing is needed. Let's see here. Will the cards I've created and my healing business be successful? Well, this kind of, I know that some of these cards are connected to your healing business because that's what the council is saying. But let's see. The healing business. Last year was a year where you spent so much time getting everything off the ground that you didn't nourish yourself. This year is a year of proper, powerful, healthy expression. But there's still something that's holding you back. You're still not at peace. So I'd say a better time for the launching of everything would be as we go into the spring equinox. You will see a lot more success in this. Until then, master your expression and be more at peace in hopes that we can move that time frame forward. Okay. But yes, at some point it goes in that direction in the spring, but we can make that time frame better by focusing on our inner peace and our mental peace, is what the council is saying here. Okay, Bjorg, we're going to be doing for Bjorg Sundum. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Sometimes I'm great with foreign names and other times I'm just not. I'm going to do traditional Rider-Waite deck for you and see what happens. Okay, we have a 3 of Wands card saying new endeavors, really, really wonderful, reaching people far and wide. This is really good. This is like going into your own personal expression in a world of service. But then it's like we're still worried here. We're still worried about how this lands. So it's like your own fears are holding you back there with the 5 of Pentacles. Now, again, I'm not as great with the major arcana, with the minor arcana. So I do have to kind of look this up and see what the deck itself has to say. But my sense about this one is kind of like you started something and then your own chaos made it stop. You started a new endeavor, but then like there's so much discord in your life, in love in particular, in family. Love doesn't always mean romantic, but there was discord and chaos in other areas that kind of halted this right now, right? So then we have the 7 of Pentacles reversed, all right? Now this is an improvement. This is an improvement card. It's an improvement for something to change. All right. But it's like, again, when things look contradictory and you don't know what way to go, you need to look at your business in a whole new way, is what the guides are saying with this card. All right. Okay, Jackie LaGuardia. Do I stay or do I go? Council said, only you can know. Now they're like rhyming with you. Let's see. We're going to use the dragon deck for this one. Okay. So this is good news and bad news. You were meant to go this year, but you put out that fire. You were too afraid to go in your career. The universe gave you, the council said, 110,000 and 1,100 signs. So many signs, 110,000 and 1,100. A lot of signs, cosmic signs to go, but your self-worth was deflated and you did not go. If you wait, you're going to find yourself stuck there another whole year. Sometimes we have to face the financial fear of going because staying does so much pain in the mental health realm. And physical health for you as well. It's everything. It's like more painful to stay. So, okay, Kendra wants Dragon cards, and I'm assuming she wants a general. Diane, I want you to reword that because I can't, it's unethical for me to read people in that way that you asked, particularly publicly. If we were private, I could ask her soul, but publicly, I will not do that. So I want you to rephrase the question. All right. Are you still here? Let me look up chat and see if you're still here. In the meantime, we'll get Kendra's message, and I want Diane Brett to rephrase that question. Okay, so with the dragon cards for Kendra, powerful, powerful, powerful. Everything came up, bliss. You're a person who is just, you're meant to be in joy. You're meant to laugh. You're meant to take life less seriously. You are an air element, which means you're not afraid of truth. And this will be a powerful year for your expression of that truth, for this throat chakra to heal. So many shadows in 2023 were completely healed, and you have a good year ahead because of all these things. Let's see. In the meantime, Diane, did you rephrase that? Because otherwise I could just kind of look at the karma and the dharma of the situation with you and your sister. I can do that, but I'll give you a moment to do that. What to be aware of and ready for the next 4 months. We'll do karma dharma on that, Olivia. Okay. Someone on the father's side of your family has a huge wake-up call. And in the midst of that wake-up call, he causes a lot of people grief. And it's like you have to kind of go off on your own when he does that, because the family karma is being strongly pulled upon this year because of the wake-up call that he experiences in his health. And there's a lot of grief that's being caused by pulling away. And here's the positive side of that, is that it gives you more freedom because you are less responsible for what the family thinks, says, or does. It makes you stronger. But that's kind of something that your family is going through these next 4 months that you need to be aware of. Okay. Okay, Diane, I still need you to rephrase your question. Just put it in a question format that doesn't ask me to read her higher consciousness, because that would be unethical of me to do in this particular way, particularly publicly. Let's see, Najasana. I think we're going to pull from tarot for you. And again, I'm just learning, and you guys are with me on the journey. The minor arcana are not things that I'm familiar with. So keep that in mind, that sometimes I'll get more of an intuitive feeling, and it could be opposite of what the traditional meaning would have to say. Okay, Najasana. Wow. And everything here is minor arcana, of course. So you guys get to watch me learn. 1, 2, 3. Wow. 4 of Swords. That's and it's reversed. And I'm also going to look it up. I'm going to tell you what I'm getting, but I'm also going to look it up for you. Here it is. Now, typically this would feel like this guy's lying down and he's just had so much coming at him and he needs to rest, but he's not letting himself. But this is the feeling that I'm getting from this is okay, I've had a tough year. Stuff has got the best of me, particularly financial lack of success and financial death, almost so much fear, but that you're reversing that. And you're expected to be guided by your spirit team this year when it comes to abundance and money. And you're in this waiting, pregnant pause feeling of contemplation about how to do something different. And you're learning from your mistakes. All right. The 5 of Wands. I'm also going to look it up because I'm not familiar with minor arcana again. And it is reversed. So this is about some interesting contradiction in terms of like you win but you lose. There's been something you've been battling. Now the original meaning of this card would be like litigation disputes, so it could come up that way, but I feel this is more about how you fight yourself and quarrels with people around you and the way you fight yourself, that you're starting to lift from that and things are starting to go your way and turn in your advantage. Still a tricky card though. You still need to keep your eyes open, the council said. And then we have the 5 of Cups. Again, it's a minor arcana of which I am unfamiliar. So I will give you the original meaning and my intuitive meaning. It is reversed. All right. So this is like, the feeling I'm getting from it is like all of the karma in your past life ancestry is coming to a continuity. Like feeling like your ancestors are finally on your side and that the ancestral healing is over and that the pain from your ancestors, like you've been the first one to break that lineage of pain in your family. But then simultaneously with all that hard work, that sometimes the ego says, well, with what, to what avail, to what return? That kind of feeling, you know, it's like, yeah, that's a hard one. Diane, you're telling me all about your situation, but I don't need any information to read you. I've known you a long time. What I need is a question format. I'm going to land that in your court and I will read for you, but I want you to put this in just a question format that doesn't have to do with me reading her or me reading them personally, but what questions do you have for the council about the situation? You understand what I mean? Because I know it's hard to bear. I know it's hard to comprehend these deep ancestral karmic situations. But sometimes when we learn to ask a question in the right way, we get the answer we've been looking for like what feels like hundreds of past lifetimes. And then this, like, if we ask the right question, this pain just lifts and we learn to ask things in a way that could be healing for the situation. You know what I mean? Okay. Let's see. I feel like where am I here? Not Desana. Now we're on Luke Donnelly. Luke, what deck do you want? Do you want Karma Dharma? Do you want Tarot and Watch Me Learn? That would typically be your choice. Watch Me Learn, right? I'm so humbled this year with that kind of stuff. My old spirits teacher, my old teacher, and she's in spirit now. She's a druid who walked me through the mysteries. She met with me in spirit at the end of this year, and she said, "You got to learn tarot, and you got to learn the symbols. It's going to help you in your journey." So I did. It was so humbling. Still learning. All right, Luke isn't answering, so I'm going to assume we're going to do Karma Dharma. All right, guidance for the new year with Karma Dharma, please. Okay. All right. I got some hard news and some great news. What's you want to hear first, Luke? It was hard to be vulnerable this year because when you showed vulnerability, people didn't understand and you felt the need for divine protection and you did not get it. You got it, but you didn't feel it. We should put it that way because everyone's always divinely protected, but whether or not you understand the reasoning for how that looks is different. So you still don't feel divinely protected here. So it's hard to be vulnerable. That's the hard news. The good news is the contracts that you broke both in work and love were important. It was a massive wake-up call in who to trust and that you work best on your own. You're learning how to nurture yourself. And you're learning also how to nurture your truth this year. So that's powerful. All right. Going back to Diane, what was the reason for the experience? That question, I'm not laughing at you, I swear, I have a nervous laugh that people misinterpret, and if you know me well, you will know that when I laugh, it is rarely indignation or picking on you. It's often I'm nervous at the question because that is a painful question. We often think that when we ask that question, why did something so terrible happen? that that it's going to feel better, that suddenly we're not going to be in pain, that suddenly it'll be easier to forgive these horrendous things that family does, right? And that isn't often the case, right? So let's see what the council has to say about why this happened. As I suspected, you needed to ground into your own path, to be separate from them, to go off on your own, and they have left you no choice but to do so, because you need to break this family curse, and you'll be the first one to step away from family and say, you know what, you guys got this on your own. Handle mom on your own, handle your gossip on your own, all these things you're saying and doing to turn my friends against me. You handle that on your own. I'm not going to forgive you. I'm going to actually forget you. Forgiveness does not often apply in situations like this. At first, it may take years, you may never, and that gets to be okay. And you will be the first person in your bloodline to say, no more. I'm not taking this anymore, right? All that happened so that you can break your lineage and not come back lifetime after lifetime with this same ancestral pain. You'll be the first person to do that. It builds your strength and your fortitude. Despite the fact that you, when you're with them and around them, and you talk to them, you don't feel divinely protective. If you follow this, your ancestors' message today, to be strong and to stand alone and to ground yourself alone, you will experience intense relief and healing. But it might be time for you to never talk to them again. It's just, this is where it's going. This is the relief. This is the strength, right? Okay. Let's see where we are next and who we have next. We have Finola. Finola, do you want traditional tarot? Which one do you want? Which deck do you want? Again, for those of you just joining, you're with me as I learn some of the minor arcana. And sometimes I have to look it up to make sure that my intuitive feelings about it are on track. Okay. I didn't see Finola respond, so I don't know if she's still here. Maybe she'll come back later. It's so funny because every card I'm pulling mostly is minor, and I'm familiar more with major arcana. So this is fun. We have the 7 of Cups. I'm going to look it up and give you my intuitive response for it. Okay, cups. 7. Now this one's reversed. That shadowy figure is very, very interesting. That's the first thing that the council is calling to my attention. It's like all of these cups have some unique surprise in them. Have you ever looked closely at some of these minor arcana? And it's like beautiful ideas, sacred action, movement, design, gifts of charisma. This one here is gifts of charisma in your personality. Going forth with a lot, like mastering your destiny and mastering this feeling of being like a jack of all trades and master of one, where you take on all the mastery of all those cups, all those little surprises that are magical and beautiful. It feels like this is a beautiful thing for you. Now, this is coming up in the past card that you started an endeavor. All right, Finola. But then we have the 4 of Pentacles reversed. Again, I am unfamiliar with the minor arcana, so I'm also going to look that up for you. Four, and this is the present position, the Four of Pentacles reversed. But to me, it feels like, okay, put on hold. And it feels like like an opposing force within yourself kind of saying, I got some bad news, or I didn't trust something, or someone gave me some bad news about my project, and then I didn't trust myself. Like I put myself on hold. It's like I put myself in the corner, that feeling. But then we have the Death card reversed. Now, to me, this is incredible. This is an incredible feeling. It's like this dream almost died, and then I resurrected it. So this is your New Year reading. Okay. Let's see who's next. We have Dawn, who says, I'm being drawn to healing, energy healing in particular, any confirmation or advice. We're going to use the Soul Contracts card to see how that comes up in your contracts for 2024, Dawn. Good. Right. It was a hard one because you went into this being that your main God is Jesus, we kind of switch from the council to him. Sorry, not sorry. Jesus is always invited here. My favorite spirit guide ever. So he says that that feeling you get that when it's like you do everything right and you do it from a place of innocence and your intention is good. And then you awaken and you see the true human nature of the healing industry and all the pain associated with it, and people coming from other healers and having bad experiences, other spiritual teachers having horrendous gaslighting experiences, toxic experiences, etc. And then you get the leftovers, and then you're like, oh my God, can I handle this? Like, look at the person holding their head. They're like, sure, I have all these gifts, but can I handle their pain when they are actually not trusting me because they were hurt by another healer or teacher or channel? What do I do with that? When we have the lion and the deer, it's like the lion is eating the deer. Like, it's terrible. Right? So those are some of the things. So we need to call in Divine Mother, call in Mother Mary, she's hand in hand with Jesus right there together with you. And she says, I am holding your hand and you cannot stop. My beloved daughter of Christ, you cannot stop your work. You have my mercy. Yeah. If you can't trust yourself in this, trust her. That's something you need to know. Because this situation almost stopped you, and that just would have been bad. That would have been hard, right? Okay, E. Oh, that's Afia. I'll always remember your name because I remember when you were in my Patreon and I was like, EEFJE. How do I say that? Because vibrations are very important, and getting people's name is important because the vibration of it will help you really get to know someone. So hopefully I remembered how to say your name appropriately. Do you want the Karma Dharma spread? Afia, what a beautiful name. I feel like I'm like slightly off in the pronunciation. Hopefully you'll tell me. Like Afia. That's closer. Let's look at your 2024. Krati, I will get to you next. It's hard when the guides give hard predictions, isn't it? Afia, you're on your own flow. You had to purify your misunderstanding in terms of resources, for your creativity, for your sound, for your music, for the way that you present. There's a little bit of a loss in direction there for a little while, and it was hard to be vulnerable. You're returning next year with a powerful divine connection, powerfully inspired back with sound healings and vibrational healings, but we do still need to work on self-acceptance. Okay. Katya, or Krati, it felt like what was coming through yesterday. I'm trying to get some clarification in my memory of that energy. It felt like someone was sick or going to get sick. And remember, the guides only tell you that when you can handle it. And it's in terms of it happening fast, not in terms of like someone who's sick and you know they're sick. And it's like a sickness that surprised people, in an elder in the family. And that's like it goes about in a hard direction for people. So let's pull from traditional Rider-Waite Tarot to get further clarification about what's going on there. Kind of look further out as well. All right. Okay, we have some minor arcana come up, and remember, I'm not familiar with minor arcana. So this is a King of Wands, and it is reversed. All right. So it's like in this situation, I feel like this represents like the personality of the person. It feels like they can get through it, or you think that they can get through it. They're tolerant towards it. They have a positive endeavor towards it, that they feel okay about it. But that also that they need to follow their doctor or healer's advice, that there's some stubbornness in the person that you need to be aware of, that they need to do that. All right. And then that's followed by the Ace of Pentacles reversed. So I'm going to, again, unfamiliar with major arcana. I'm going to look that up for you, as well as get the intuitive opinion. This is favorable. They say he can get through it. When you reverse it in this way, you can get through it. It's like it's perfectly imperfect is the message I'm getting. It's like, okay, despite their sickness, they can get through, but it causes great shift and fear and change in the family, like change in people's working environments because he needs care, things like that. He can get through it if he follows the advice of the healer or doctor. It's favorable, but it's like perfectly imperfect. There's also repercussions in terms of the family's desire to want to do it their way. And that's just like stubbornness in the family lineage and cultures. I don't know what to really say about that because I don't know you well enough to say it, but I can say that sometimes that's difficult. Yeah. Let's see, where were we in terms of readings? We did Aphialas, and then Kassia, any messages about my finances? Kassia, what card deck do you want to pull from? Do you want Karma Dharma in terms of finances for 2024? What we need to work on and then what we will master? Does that sound okay? Right. Oh, dragons. Okay. Dragons. We will re-pull. Hold on. Oh, I forgot you're the one that always likes the dragons. The dragons and fairies. I need like a fairy deck. I don't have one yet. Which fairy deck should I use, guys? Kassia. That is right. Kassia. See that vibration. I want you to correct me if I get your name wrong, because the vibration is very, very, very important in channeling. Kassia. All right. So for finances for 2024, you had a very royal lineage from a past lifetime that you put on hold. So the contract was, I can feel royal, but I must give everything away and have a tough relationship with money. Now you're breaking that this year, okay? But that's what you came in with. It was like this funny relationship with money of, okay, I've been royal, I've had money so many times, so now I will just be like a pauper. Why? It comes up in the reverse position as in we need to change that. And you started working on changing that in 2023, right? And then you came out of the silence card, withheld. It's like a long period of withholding your gifts, withholding financial resources. It's like giving, but not receiving, and withholding even your ability to receive. You came out of that karmic contract in 2023. and you have faced the fear and healed the contract. So it's time to be abundant. No more pauper lifetimes coming up for Kasha. Okay. Yeah. It feels like the council is showing me images of castles and royalty and just like old ancient lifetimes of being in a royal lineage and having everything handed from you, and you coming back and saying, okay, I've got to learn abundance in a new way, and then healing it, fixing it, and returning to abundance. All right. Tanya Van Deventer. Okay. Tanya, which deck do you want to use? Do you want traditional tarot, dragons, karma dharma, or soul contracts? I'm going to assume traditional tarot if you don't say anything. Anything to help me move forward? Okay. Well, let's ask about moving forward. What needs to be worked on? Hello. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of Pentacles reversed. Oh, yeah. I read for her. Already read for her and explained it. She understands.
That's okay.
Yeah. See, there's Anya making sure you were taken care of, Krati. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of Pentacles. Again, I don't have a great understanding of the minor arcana. It is reversed. So what this feels like is like things that were contradictory, particularly in money, are going to make more sense as you move into the new year. This is just what this feels like. And there was also people fighting over money, an altercation about money in your private life, people deciding what to do with your money and you disagreeing with them, and like taking power back in that situation as well. Now we have the 2 of Cups reversed. Okay, I'm going to pull that up in traditional meaning for you as well. And now again, it's reversed. So it's very interesting because original meaning is like love, passion, friendship, union, but I'm not getting it that way. Like I'm getting that when it's reversed, it's like breaking apart from someone you traditionally perceived as a loving union because of a money issue and because of separate like issues you had to like pull away from them, or you have differing in opinion, possibly even like a divorce or breakup, or divorce in partnership in business, or someone you trusted that you don't trust anymore because they didn't handle your money well. That's just like how it's coming up to me from the council's interpretation of it. And then we have the 4 of Swords as the final outcome here. Now it did show up reversed. All right. So it's like now you're a little bit cautious with money. Now also you can be a little bit held back, that you're being okay, I went through this, but now I'm expecting myself to do something different and I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself. Right? So I can see why you're putting pressure on yourself, but remember, you wouldn't have been in that situation were it not have been for misunderstandings based upon someone else's lack of responsibility. Is the best feeling and word I can get from that. So it'll be like a year to break free, a year to decide what you do with your money. It is your money, by the way. So whether that is friendship, business partnership, or love, a change has been made. And now you're being super hard on yourself. And the guides are just saying, okay, let up a little and understand that you didn't put yourself in that position. You were always responsible prior to then. You were just tired. Be gentle on yourself is their advice to you. All right. Let's see. We have next. cute little lamb whose name is also Erica. Advice for love life, happy with Oracle or Tarot. Well, we just did Tarot and I'm learning. So I'm learning these minor arcana. So this is helpful for me as well. So we will do Tarot with love relationship for 2024. See what Tarot has to say. Right. We have the Seven of Wands in the minor arcana in the reverse position. So let's look that up real quick. Again, for those of you just joining, I am learning minor arcana. So this has been super helpful for me as well to practice on you with that. So this represents this year in love. You're perplexed. You are confused when it comes to love, like a series of shame situations in the karma in your love life. Like, why am I attracting the same thing? And I'm so ashamed. It's like blaming yourself and being super anxious that you're going to attract it again. All right. Then we have like the world card in reverse position. So it's like, okay, the love still isn't opening up to me yet. Why not? What am I doing wrong? Well, in this case, it's like, okay, let's look at love differently. Let's not look at it in the same way. Let's not look at it in light of the past. Let's just focus on loving the world for how we see it and love ourselves for how we see ourselves in both better, worse, rich or poor, all that stuff, right? Because it's like we're still seeing the world of love in a negative space of it might hurt us, which is why we're not attracting it, the guides are saying here. And then we have the 10 of Pentacles. Okay, one I'm not familiar with, so give me a second. And it is reversed. Okay, let's see where my pentacles are in this one. The 10 and 10. All right, this is a hard year with love. There are some chances for love, but unless we shift our worldview about what love is, it's a gloomy outlook. What the council is saying when it comes to love for 2024 is focus on loving yourself. Don't even try to call it in. Let's just heal what happened and focus on like a whole year of being in love with Erica. Erica loving Erica. Does that make sense? Okay. Aaralyn wants a Karma Dharma card reading with messages for the new year. Am I ready now in creating the life I want for 2024? She's asking. Let's see. The focus is still missing. It's like when you, the council says when you want something, you rush at it super fast and passionate and hard and you're super focused, and then you can't maintain that focus day after day after day. So how about tuning your focus into a little bit of service at a time, a little bit of action at a time? So just like when we're working out, okay, so when I'm working out, it doesn't apply to you. You're hardcore and working out too. But when most people are working out, when they just start, they're like, let me give it a little bit at a time, right? And getting back into it after not working out a long time, just celebrate the little victories, all right? You are deeply in communion with spirit. That hasn't changed. What has changed is your strength, your fortitude, right? So you will have a lot of financial relief if you trust that strength and fortitude. But the problem is you're not going with your flow and you get out of focus. So we still have that karma to deal with right now. That's what we need to work on. But overall, you have some blocks, but overall, this is it's showing some really good things towards financial relief and what you want to create for next year. All right. Maria wants a Karma Dharma spread and some messages from the council. Let's look at the Karma and Dharma in 2024 for Maria. Okay. right. Overall, this is really good. There was only one karma card that the council pulled for you, and it was this: the ancestral pain. Generations of ancestors saying, we're broke and we have to work hard. The exchange of time for money is what the council says. If you go into the new year with an exchange of time for money, it's going to be hard. And you do. So they're saying create a new beginning. You will create a new beginning when it comes to money and work this year. You will release by the fall equinox of next year, you will release all that ancestral pain. You will have a huge new beginning in a more nurturing line of work that instigates the propensity for further creativity and creative explorations. And it will give you more time off and rest as well. So overall, it looks like a good year. But you still have that, I need to work hard for any possible thing that I get financially, ancestral pain that we need to heal through. All right, Amy B, I don't know what card deck you want because you didn't say. If you're still here, let me know what card deck you want. I think we're going to do soul contracts for you since you aren't responding yet. And guys, thank you for the super chats, but you're going to have to stop because I can't keep up. And I don't want to not reach everyone. So no more super chats. Okay. Let's see where we were here. We were with Amy B. We're going to do a soul contract spread for 2024. It's a big year. The only karma that came up is ignoring your divine feminine qualities, ignoring your sexuality and putting your own needs on hold, ignoring your feminine. You have the blessing of the council this year, a big blessing. There's going to be a lot of victory in terms of work life. And the guides say it's time for a new dance, whatever that means to you. But I'm assuming in association with work. Right? Let's see. Val Klein, what deck do you want? Oh, Jen, I already answered your question earlier. You didn't have to super chat me again. You can retract that if you want. But they answered it. Were you here for it? And Val Klein, what deck do you want? I'm going to assume Karma and Dharma if you don't say otherwise. Karma and Dharma for the year for Val for 2024. Oh, no, Jen, I answered the question already. You super chatted before and I answered it. Do you remember? Were you not here? Just go back later. Okay, Karma and Dharma for Val for 2024. Okay. I have some good news and some hard news. Right now, it's like everything that you thought was magical, you put on hold and you've dismissed. All right. And that disconnected you from your cosmic perspective and awareness. However, in 2024, you're going to return to a more magical state of awareness. You're going to be free, a lot more financial freedom for you in 2024. You're going to return to seeing the bigger picture, and you will have healed the shadows of 2023 in relation to cutting yourself off from your own bliss. All right. Krati, should I start a blogging business? We will do the dragon ones for you. I never like to ask, and this is kind of a spiritual teaching moment, so just bear with me and forgive me if you don't want the advice or information, just let it be. But my advice in teaching is this. Ask the question differently. What would it look like if I started a blogging business? Would I be happy? Would that be aligned in my soul's truest endeavors for this year? Let's ask that. When you have proper inquiry, you get beautiful answers that are very real. So this is a start of your path. It showed up in that position as like, okay, through writing, You will get forth a lot of revelations that you will share with the world. So this is the start of your path that will allow you to express yourself powerfully. All Dharma cards, that is a yes, right? That's because we asked it the appropriate way with proper deep spiritual inquiry. All right, Deanna Springer, what card deck do you want? I'm going to assume soul contracts if you don't say anything. Let's do soul contracts for the year for Deanna. Okay. As we start the year, there's been a lot taken from you. There's been a lot that has shifted, just change. So we get the Garden of Eden card in the reverse position, just showing, okay, we're coming from harder times. There's been a lot of change to share. It's been harder to stay connected to the Christ consciousness because things keep changing. What they're suggesting for you is that you've been kind of resistant to the newness, resistant to the change. And it's important that we become less resistant this year to those changes because those changes mean something. And it's like if you go into a dressing room and you put on this beautiful new gown and you come out and you go, well, I mean, yeah, it's there, but I can't afford it. Yeah, it's there, but I don't know. Yeah, I think it looks good, but then other people think the gown doesn't look good on me. So what? You like it? It's there? Do it. Like, trust your new changes this year and look at this year like a dressing room to try on new things and to choose yourself, to choose your own needs. All right. Let's see who's next. Deanna. No, I did that. Jamie. I think Jamie said soul contract. Okay. And again, I appreciate all your super chats, but don't give me any more because I got to keep up now. And we have been at this for an hour and a half, so I soon have to go do other things for the day. So let's see. Soul contracts for Jamie. All right. I love this. This feels like a love card, like looking at your relationship a whole different way, looking at the spiritual meaning of your marriage and looking at it together in a new light. So that's something this year for you and your husband growing closer together. And then this is a sacred offerings card from Divine Mothers saying, I have offerings to present through you, right? However, the Hand of Fatma card reverse says, you're not offering the offerings. We need to look at that and change that, all right? Because they're just telling you your alignment right now. You can change that. Be careful not to reject the offerings. Agatha, Roxana, is there any message for me for 2024? I think we're going to do the Dragon Oracle deck for that one. Okay. A lot of changes. It's like the old you is no more. You are becoming who you are completely in your soul. However, you don't trust your power. The Oisin dragon card. Oisin means king of dragons, divine masculine. You don't power. You're not trusting your power and putting it into actions. But the fear that you have that's preventing you from doing that will be overcome soon in the next few months. So then you can go back and turn this round upside down, reconnect to your power, and understand that if there's loss in 2023, it can only egg you on to success in 2024. All right. Let's see. Let's just make sure I got all these super chats. I had a hard time keeping up this time. Make sure I didn't miss anybody in that. And don't think that I did. Okay. I think I'm gonna land it here. I'm gonna call it here because it's been an hour and a half and I'm getting tired. Thank you so much for everything. Don't forget to get your codes for the Saint Germain, the Alchemy of You, tapping into those 7 sacred seals that work with the 7 themes of 2024 to manifest your new year. That is on Saturday. We're closing the class tomorrow, closing the entry to it tomorrow. So get your discount codes for that. If you didn't get a reading and you want one, we are having seasonal discounts, and the prices are just already there on the website. You can go check it out. It's linked above. And I will see you tomorrow for the world predictions for 2024. Thank you for your patience. Also, as I learned the minor arcana, because I had never worked with them before. So this is, I'm doing all the things I was resistant to this year. Let's put it that way. All the things that I said I would never do. No, I will never use cards. No, I will never channel Lilith. No, I'll never channel Lucifer. Anything that scared me got done. And this is the year of completing all those things. So you'll see a lot of changes in that, and some things that are still the same as well. And I've appreciated working with you today. And I will see you tomorrow for the world predictions for 2024. Okay. See you. Bye-bye.